Did you know that only 20% of US households own Roth IRAs? And according to Investment Company Institute, only 12% of US households contributed to either traditional or Roth IRAs, and most people didn't know that they could contribute to both 401k and IRA at the same time. The question I get from my clients is why a Roth IRA should matter to them. The contribution limit is only $6,000 a year or $7,000 a year for people over the age of 50, and compare that to the 401k, which is $20,500. So how is a Roth IRA going to make a difference in their retirement? Well, what if I told you that you could retire tax-free with a Roth IRA? What if I told you that with just $17 a day, you could become a tax-free millionaire? If you're brand new to my channel, my name is Sai and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'm going to go over how to set up your Roth IRA with a broker, the Roth IRA rules that not a lot of people know about, and how you can invest passively in a Roth IRA to achieve financial independence. I'll talk about the self-directed IRA in a future video, and you can check out the separate video I made about the differences between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA, and I will put that link in the description below. Just keep in mind that none of this is specific investment advice. You need to do your due diligence to find out what makes sense to you and whether it's a traditional IRA or Roth IRA. My wife and I treat our Roth IRA as our core retirement accounts. If you look at this diagram, it is one of our top 3 retirement accounts along with 401k and health savings account, or HSA. And my wife has her own Roth IRA and I have my own as well. The IRS states that we cannot combine our IRAs, and each of the accounts has to be assigned to your social security number. It's also okay if you or your spouse doesn't work, and you can open a spousal Roth IRA as long as one of the spouses has an earned income and you're filing your taxes jointly. You can also open a Roth IRA for your child, and the account also has to be under your kid's name, and I will talk more about the Roth IRA for kids later in this video. So before we talk about opening a Roth IRA, let's talk about the eligibility. You need to make sure that you're eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA, and for the tax year 2022, and if you're single, your modified adjusted gross income has to be under $129,000. The phase-out range is $129,000 to $144,000. And what that means is that if you're in that phase-out range, you can only contribute up to a reduced amount from the total of $6,000. You can find out how it's reduced on the IRS publication 590A, and I will link that page in the description below. So if you're making more than $144,000 a year in modified adjusted gross income, then you're not eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA. If you're married and you're filing your taxes jointly, the phase-out range starts at $204,000 to $214,000. And if you make more than $214,000, then you're not eligible to contribute directly to the Roth IRA. But don't get discouraged, because there's a separate strategy called a backdoor Roth IRA for the high income earners, and I will link that video in the description below. For this video, I'm only going to focus on the people making less than those income limits. If you're married but filing taxes separately or as head of household, you can check out the IRS website to find out your Roth IRA income limits. Now let's talk about how the Roth IRA works. So you have a checking account and a savings account, right? A checking account is where you get your paychecks and you pay your bills. A savings account is where you park your short-term cash reserves, so it could be your emergency fund, travel fund, or home improvement fund. When you get your paychecks from your employer deposited into your checking account, you've already paid federal income tax, FICA, Medicare, and maybe state income tax, right? So assuming you already pay taxes on the money you have in your checking account, you can do a direct contribution or transfer from your checking account to your Roth IRA if you're under the income limit that I just talked about. So the money Roth IRA is receiving from your checking account is already taxed, and we call that the post-tax contribution. And keep in mind that your contributions are not tax deductible. Once you transfer your money into a Roth IRA, it's not invested yet. So it's just parked in a money market account that barely accrues any interest. It's just like a savings account inside a Roth IRA. You can contribute up to $6,000 for the tax year 2022. So that means from January 1st, 2022 until the tax deadline on April 15, 2023. After the tax deadline, you cannot contribute the $6,000 anymore for the year 2022. Your contribution to your Roth IRA will be considered for the tax year 2023. When you turn 50 years old, you can contribute an additional $1,000 as a catch-up contribution. Now let's talk about how to set up your Roth IRA and what qualities you want to look for in a brokerage account. If you already have them set up, you can click on the next chapter of this video if you want to. When it comes to opening a Roth IRA or any type of investment account, you want to look for 6 qualities in a broker: customer service, low fees, low account minimum, research and educational resources, a reliable mobile app, and online access. My wife has Fidelity and I have Schwab and Vanguard. We've had pretty good experiences with Fidelity and Schwab so far, and they're meeting all of those qualities. Some brokers require you to deposit $500 or $1,000 to open an account or pay annual maintenance fees, so make sure you watch out for those. Vanguard, however, and I'm gonna be very blunt here, has poor customer service. And I'm not saying that they're rude or anything, but I requested to roll over my 401k to IRA in January. 4 months later, nothing has happened. And I have a big chunk of change in my 401k, and I can't do anything with it until I move it to my IRAs. And I've been calling them once a month, and they constantly transfer me to a different department. One of the phone calls lasted about 4 hours, and I just had to hang up after that. If anyone else had a similar experience with Vanguard, let me know in the comment section down below. On top of that, Vanguard's website and app experiences are significantly lagging behind Fidelity and Schwab. I can't buy or sell stocks on the Vanguard app, and they went through this major upgrade, but the message I keep getting is, and I'll pull up on the screen here, is sorry, we haven't gotten to this yet. So right now I'm in the process of moving my entire investment portfolio from Vanguard to Chase Private Client, and I will make a video about my experience with Chase in the future video. Once you pick the broker that you like, and I can only speak from my experience with Fidelity and Schwab, so I'll pull up on the screen here. What you want to do is choose the retirement link, open an account, and choose Roth IRA. The information they need from you is personally identified information like your social security number, date of birth, and your employer information. It takes about 2 to 3 business days to verify your information. By the way, if you need help with setting up your Roth IRA, you can schedule a free one-on-one 20-minute financial coaching session by visiting firesidechat.com/coaching. When it comes to the Roth IRA, you need to understand 4 terms: contribution, conversion, earnings, and rollover. A contribution to your Roth IRA is what you directly contribute or transfer from your bank checking account to your Roth IRA. A conversion is if you decide to pay taxes on what you have in your traditional IRA or other pre-tax retirement accounts, and then you convert that money over to your Roth IRA. So anytime you do a conversion, you'll have to pay taxes on the total conversion. A rollover is when you directly move money from Roth 401k, Roth TSP, or other Roth accounts transferred to your Roth IRA, and you wouldn't have to pay any taxes on the rollover because you already paid them. It has to be a Roth to Roth rollover so the IRS can't tax you twice. You can't do a rollover from Roth to traditional because you already paid taxes on the contributions. Earnings on your Roth IRA are however much you earn from investing in a mutual fund, ETF, bond stocks, or other qualified securities in accordance with the IRS. You cannot withdraw your earnings and interest until you turn 59 and a half. You can, however, withdraw your contributions at any time, and I will talk more about that later in this video. Let's go back to this diagram, and let's say you've already set up your Roth IRA and you've got money in a money market account inside your Roth IRA. I'll just say you have $1,000 in it and you're ready to invest. I'm gonna go with an index fund because that's what most beginners start with, and obviously this is not financial advice. I'll choose Fidelity S&P 500 Index Fund, for example, and ticker symbol FXAIX. And if you choose to use Schwab, their S&P 500 Index Fund ticker symbol is SWPPX. So what I do is inside Fidelity is I go to trade, and I'm gonna go pick mutual funds and Roth IRA, and then I'll type FXAIX under symbol, and it should tell me Fidelity 500 Index Fund, and I can buy $1,000 with it and then click preview. If you're buying a mutual fund like this one, the $1,000 buy order doesn't get processed until 4:30 p.m. Eastern time after the market closes. So if you place this order on a Saturday or Sunday, then it won't get processed until Monday after the market closes. I can also choose an ETF instead of a mutual fund. So an ETF you'll have to buy during the trading day when the market is open. So if you're on the West Coast, the market opens from 6:30 a.m. until 1 p.m. Pacific time. For the Roth IRA, it really doesn't matter if you trade ETFs or mutual funds because you don't pay taxes on their dividends. If you want to get the lowest price possible during a trading day, then ETFs might be the right choice for you. But most people don't really want to sit in front of a computer all day and stare at the stock market charts. So on Schwab, you go to Trade, Stocks, and ETFs. And I'll just choose SPY for the ticker symbol that tracks the S&P 500 index. Since it's trading at $408 a share right now, and assuming I have $1,000 in the money market account, I can do 2 shares of SPY. You can do a market order or the limit order. A market order is a price you purchase at the time of the market. A limit order is a price you dictate at the time of the purchase. So, for example, you can say you only want to pay $400 per share, so you just type it in the box. If or when SPY's stock price drops to $400, that's when Schwab executes your trade. You can set the timing to day only when the order only lasts throughout one trading day. You can also do good until cancel, which is typically 60 calendar days from the time you place this order. Once the order is placed, you're going to see it in the transaction or order history. I can't tell you what to invest, but I can tell you what I did when I first started investing many years ago. I started with the US Total Stock Market Index Fund and the S&P 500 Index Fund. They're broad-based index funds that require very little research. I've made a few videos about the index funds and I will link those videos in the description below. Just keep in mind that you should never invest in something you don't understand. You need to do your due diligence before you start buying mutual funds, ETFs, or stocks. If you don't, then it's called gambling. Now let's talk about how your Roth IRA could potentially turn into millions of dollars over the years. The S&P 500 for the last 5 years has performed around 11 to 12% average annual return. So let's say you're 25 years old in the year 2022 and you max out your Roth IRA contribution at $6,000 every year. With the 10% annual return, your Roth IRA in 25 years could turn into $720,000 by the time you turn 50 years old. If you continue to contribute past the age of 50, by the time you're eligible to withdraw from your Roth IRA at age 59.5, your Roth IRA could be worth about $2 million. Keep in mind that this is $2 million tax-free dollars because you already pay taxes on the contributions. The earnings, interest, and dividends you accrue inside your Roth IRA are also tax-free. You can withdraw from your Roth IRA completely tax-free when you turn 59.5. By the way, you can get our free fire resources, including this spreadsheet, by visiting firesidechat.com/contact. You can also check out the Fireside Chat shop, and I have all of my stuff on my bookshelf at firesidechat.com/shopping. So I mentioned earlier that you can withdraw your contribution at any time. The $6,000 you contributed to your Roth IRA is the money you already pay taxes on because it came directly from your personal checking account. So if you decide to take it out of your Roth IRA for whatever reason, you won't pay any taxes on the early withdrawal. However, let's say you made $200 on interest by investing in the S&P 500 index fund and you have a total of $6,200 for the year 2022. Roth withdrawals are made on a first in, first out basis. So when you withdraw from the Roth IRA, you're withdrawing from your contribution first, which is the $6,000, and then your earnings, which is the $200. If you make the $200 withdrawal, which is your earnings before age 59.5, you will have to pay a 10% penalty and your federal income tax on it. So you could be potentially paying 30 to 40% in a penalty for the early withdrawal. And using this concept, there are people who use Roth IRA as their emergency fund. As a financial coach, I do not recommend anyone from doing that. And look at 2022, for example. If you had your $6,000 invested right now, your S&P 500 index fund is down about 13% year to date. So your $6,000 is now down to $5,220 in the short term. And your emergency fund should be parked in the short-term cash reserve, like the savings account I talked about over here. I also mentioned that you can open a Roth IRA for your spouse who doesn't have a job as long as you guys are filing your taxes together. You can also open a Roth IRA for your child if that child hasn't earned income. There are no age restrictions to open a Roth IRA as long as they have earned income. So for example, if your kid earned from working at a fast food restaurant, doing babysitting gigs or dog walking, or your child wins a baby beauty contest or whatever, and if they earn $2,000 for the year 2022, you as the parent can contribute $2,000 to their custodial Roth IRA. Just remember that the contribution amount has to match their earned wages. So if they made $3,000, then all you can contribute is $3,000. I know Schwab and Fidelity both offer custodial Roth IRAs. Just imagine how much their Roth IRAs will grow by the time they turn 30 years old. My wife and I are treating our Roth IRAs as the core retirement accounts. We know this is the retirement account that will continue to grow tax-free. We're consistently investing $6,000 a year or $12,000 a year into both of our Roth IRAs. Just remember that after the tax deadline, the $6,000 contribution is gone. We can't go back in time to contribute to the amount in the past. And if you want to know more about how we prioritize our retirement investment and what we like to invest in our Roth IRAs, be sure to check out these 2 videos. So with that said, I appreciate you watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a good one.